Let's try that again because I was on mute. Hello and welcome to National Lampoon Live. My name is Harrison Greenbaum. I'm your host. And so excited for you guys to all join me. That's my Instagram and Twitter at Harrison Comedy. Wayne is in the building asking me about Dole Whip. This weekend was my girlfriend's birthday, and we had an indoor birthday. And we were able to recreate the Dole Whips of Disneyland with a very simple recipe. And that was about as complicated a thing as I can cook. I blended pineapples and vanilla ice cream. So there's the secret to a good Dole Whip. And I also noticed that Corona Beer, who we've been courting as a sponsor this entire time, Corona Beer on YouTube, they were noting that they made a very significant donation to restaurant and bar workers. And, you know, we've been trying to get them to sponsor us. We are, of course, there we go. We can put that up as the punchline to the joke, but I can set up the joke first. It's cool. Brendan's our producer. He's amazing, by the way, and a huge hat tip to him, by the way, in Pennsylvania. But yeah, Corona Beer is donated to the restaurants and the bar workers, but we've been trying to get everybody to donate to the COVID Foundation, covid.cm/National Lampoon. Yep, that's all you got to do. You get information about this incredible organization. We've been raising money for this organization for, I think, a month going now, and we thank you all for your donations. Even $1 helps. So I can't help but think that Corona Beer has been watching this show and has donated to a different charity as a way to play hard to get. And I got to tell you, I respect it. I very much respect it, Corona. Now let's put up Corona's new tagline. Corona Beer, we haven't heard from them at all, but it's not going to keep us from running this pit until they do. That is one of them. That is true. That's pretty good. Corona Beer, playing hard to get, and we kind of like it. So yeah, Corona Beer, please sponsor us. We've been hawking this stuff, and I've been drinking way too much. So my liver and the COVID Foundation will thank you. So that's our plug. If you want to drink along with us, the word of the night is comedy. That's never been our word of the night before. This show is all about comedy. There's some topics in here about comedy. That's 2 drinks for you. Comedy, comedy, comedy. We've done it. You guys are all drunk. Let's introduce our virtual audience for the evening. We have Ben from New York. How you doing, Ben?
Very good. How are you?
I'm good. You look very official. That looks like you're on a fancy chair.
It's my mom's office, you know.
Nice. What does she
during
do?
the quarantine times, at least. Oh, she is founding a new organization to combat climate change from a Jewish perspective. So
really, is it called "I'm Schwitzing in Here"?
I mean, my parents are professionally good people. It's a lot of pressure.
No, I want to come up with all the ways you can have a Jewish-themed climate change organization. I like it.
Yeah. So it's called Dayenu, and she's launching.
Oh, that's good. I was going to call it 40 Years Was Enough, and that would be the name of the organization. We've been wandering in the desert. I think we got it. It could be global warming, not a dry heat.
I like that.
All right, let's bring in, speaking of hot places with Jews, let's talk about our friend from Miami, Ramsey. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I like that you're joining us from bed. I appreciate that you're comfortable.
Yes, always in bed. Always.
And where are you quarantining at the moment?
I'm with my parents right now. So
you're also with your parents?
Well, yes.
And in Ramsey, you're both with your parents. Is this is the beginning of a quarantine love story?
Sorry?
Well, if you're with your parents and he's with his parents, then I assume you might both be single. And maybe this is the beginning of like You Got Mail, but the 2020 version.
I'm gay, unfortunately. But, you know, maybe in another life.
Okay, that's fair enough. I appreciate that. Sorry, Ben and Ramsey, I tried. We'll do our best. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Ramsey, what are you up to, by the way?
I'm just playing Homescapes on my phone.
Nice. So very productive. Yeah. You're really putting your quarantine time to good use.
Exactly. Love it.
Awesome. Well, Ramsey and Ben, thank you so much for joining us. We will keep checking in with you. At the very end, you guys get to ask our comedians one question. We have to answer it. So start thinking about those now. That's our audience Q&A. So thank you so much. Make sure you have your drink handy in case you hear the word comedy. They're still not our sponsor. Okay. Thank you, Miami and New York. Let's bring on our incredible panel that is assembled from all across the country. But before we do that, I would love to bring on my musical co-host. She's been with us every Tuesday. She is delightful, hilarious, amazing. Make some noise, get excited from your own apartment. Sarah Dooley, everybody. How you doing?
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I'm just taking care of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's here.
I think about her all the time. That woman has held on in a way that is almost superhuman.
I know, and I kiss her every night, and she sleeps next to me. So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my part as an American.
I love that. They should have a whole action figure set. Like I remember I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing and it came with the sewers. I know you can get an RBG figure, but I do not think you can get like a courthouse play set.
The rest of the Supreme Court. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Oh, the things I would do to Kavanaugh.
Well, you know what'd be fun? They should build Kavanaugh like a transformer so that if you like bend him, he turns into the piece of shit that he is.
Yeah, he actually comes just as a turd.
That's like, right. He looks like he turned into the emoji that they say is ice cream. How was your weekend, Sarah?
Oh, thank you for asking. It was really weird and bad. I've just been having a lot of. Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. Having a lot of realizations in quarantine. I've been looking inward, and I had a horrifying realization this weekend that I even miss Midtown.
Times Square, you miss it? The crowds, the tourists,
I would
the
give
not walking?
anything. I would give anything to go to the M&M store and be harassed by a Midwestern family.
I love the M&M store. I always used to say that if you go to the top floor of the M&M store and you look out the beautiful windows, there's an incredible view of all the places where you can buy M&Ms for less money.
That is a really good life hack.
Yeah, it's great. And another life hack, they all taste the same. Why are you spending $17 to get a fucking different color?
It's the vehicle, okay? Sometimes it's in a boot, okay? Don't yuck my yum, okay?
You know what there should be? There should be like an illegal speakeasy for Skittles in the basement of the M&M store.
Oh, that's so hot. I love that.
Have you ever eaten a full bag of Skittles? I think it's impossible.
No, the cold sores just break open and I have to go to the hospital.
Oh, this went on in a real dark way.
Oh, was I not supposed to say stuff? Oops. Sorry for being me. I can't stop.
I like that. That is the worst version of Taste the Rainbow I have ever heard. Sarah, do you have any songs to play for us?
Well, of course I do, Harrison. So I've been hearing, a little birdie told me that there are some people in America who are having a hard time staying motivated to stay home. So, and they feel like it's a Herculean task. Oh. And so I thought I would just write an anthem for all of us to encourage us to keep staying home.
Awesome. Sarah, take it away.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place that's called anywhere but my apartment, where crowds can gather and we can hug and touch, and I can remember what other humans smell like. But for a little while I can socially distance. I'll rake out my tile and make a doll from hair, though it's the worst time to be in my sexual prime. When I socially distance, I know I'm not part of the reason this will last so much longer, because people can't seem to get it together and stay home. Seriously, what's with that? For a little while, hey, I can socially distance. I'll conceive a child, which is what I call my homemade bread. Replace water with gin. Learn the language from The Sims. So. When I socially distance, I know I'm where I belong. Fuck you, neighbors. I mean, yay.
That was amazing. That's one of my favorite Disney movies. I love Hercules.
It's so good. It's really, really good.
Sarah, thank you so much. If they want to buy your album, they just got to go to Spotify. It's called Stupid Things. You can also follow her at Unruliest Dooley on Twitter and on Instagram. Sarah, we'll check in with you again at the end of the program. Thank you so much for joining every time. You're amazing. I'll let the Yankees on the bedpost slide.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Very cool. That's me. I'm sporty.
I say that like I know anything about sports, but I think I'm supposed to be mad about the Yankees. I'm very good at passing. Sarah, thanks so much. I'll see you soon.
You're doing great.
Oh boy, we got New York and Miami. That was pretty great.
The Hercules.
And Ramsey, how do you feel about it?
Loved it. I think I know her little sister.
What?
Actually, weirdly enough.
This is
yeah.
incredible.
If her sister's name is Julia, then that's
Let's find out. Is your sister's name Julia?
It is. Yes. Oh my gosh. How do you know
Oh,
her?
yeah.
This is turning into a magic show. This is incredible.
We went to summer camp together like years ago, like when I
At
was in
Stage
middle
Door?
school. No, I did go to Stage Door, but we met at Interlochen actually.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
But we
Wild.
still follow each other on Instagram. So
I love that. Hey, Harrison and Ben, could you guys hop off? We're actually
Yeah, absolutely.
we're gonna have a talk. So, what are you doing now? That's awesome. Are you doing theater?
I
Reminds me of like every date I go on sometimes where it's like, oh, we're gonna go out, my best friend and her boyfriend, and then you just sit there and you're like, oh, cool. That's great. You guys like jalapeno poppers? Anybody gonna eat the last one?
That was actually my second question for Randy.
Well, I love it. We're bringing people together through the power of laughter. There you go. Sponsored not by Corona, even though they could if they wanted to. Right, thank you, guys. Let's start our panel up. This is going to be awesome. Sarah, we'll see you in a little bit. An incredible panel from literally all across the country. This first comedian, you might recognize her from Wild 'N Out on MTV and from her new web series. We'll let her tell us a little bit about it. Give it up for Maddy Smith, everybody. Hi, Maddy.
Hey, Harrison. How's it going?
How you doing? I saw you started up a web series where it's like a late night show in the afternoon.
It is. It's called Late Afternoon. It's got it's pretty structured. It's got a monologue, 2 segments, 5 minutes long. Nothing crazy. And my boyfriend is the bassist.
Nice. And he's also a comedian. Does he have a job at all?
Yeah, he's a lawyer. So he works from home in his bed. So he's like in court, virtual court, in bed while I sit.
Are we obligated to make a joke about legal briefs?
Hey, if he was wearing them. Okay, all right.
I make that joke. I zip up my shirt. I put on a parachute. I jump out my window. I'm like, that's it for me.
My career is over. Yeah, so he works from home while I just sit out here and collect unemployment. Feels illegal.
Yeah, it does. It's weird. I mean, I assume he's getting paid more though than you are collecting unemployment. Because if it's the opposite, then this seems like the perfect scheme.
Right. Oh my God, I'm like a scammer. They're gonna make a movie about me on HBO in 4 years.
when they said freelancers and people in the gig economy could get unemployment, and that they were getting a $600 bonus just from the federal government, I realized there's a lot of comedians who are making more money than they ever have.
I was like,
in their entire career, including myself. My first couple of years of comedy, I do not think I was making $600 a week.
No. And now we're all at home like, yeah, hell yeah.
Exactly. Who's going to have 2 servings of ramen, baby?
Seriously. So I can't complain, really. I'm trying not to complain because it could be worse, you know?
And how do we find your series? Is it on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Just search Late Afternoon or Maddy Smith. It'll probably come up. We get thousands of views an episode. So
that's big time. You know, we can't all be the Tonight Show where we can do dumb segments, but they have big celebrities, so everybody has to watch them.
I know, or like a TikTok. You know, I don't know if you're on TikTok right now, but there's like a few TikToks that no matter what they do, they just get like 10 million views. We can't
really. I hear from a little birdie, and by little birdie, I mean our private chat feature that we use during the show, that our audience member, Ramsey, is very popular on the TikTok.
We need more info.
Can you confirm or deny your TikTok status, Ramsey?
I mean, I guess I do pretty well on TikTok, but I've been flopping in
millions.
I do
that
pretty well.
frog was for at least 2 million.
How many followers do you have?
I have 66.9K.
That's a lot. That's a lot. My sister is on TikTok. She's trying to make her turtle famous. Do you have any advice for her?
The less it makes sense, the better, I would say.
Yeah, it is true. I feel that TikTok has been melting my brain.
And how old are you, Ramsey, if I might ask? I assume you're under 25 if you are TikTok famous.
Well, actually, I'm kind of an old woman. I just turned 24
24. That's elderly for the TikTok crowd.
Yes.
No, yeah. Every
You're a
day
TikTok
I share.
grandma.
Yeah, it makes me feel really bad about myself most days, but we deal with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We got to bring up the rest of the panel, Ramsey. But what is your TikTok handle if they'd like to follow you?
It's Lexapro Lesbian.
I love that. I'm one of those things.
Ooh, let's leave that a mystery. All right, Ramsey, we'll make sure we follow you for sure. Let's bring on our next panel member. He is a comic out from Los Angeles. He and I share an incredible passion for board games. In fact, he has a board game coming out this summer, if all goes well. Give it up for Grant Lyon, everybody.
Hey, yeah, I know. It's so
my
random. I have a board game.
I'm a huge board game nerd. I know you're a huge board game nerd. And to
Very
be clear,
true.
when we say board game, we're not talking about like Clue or Monopoly or any of that bullshit, right?
No. I think everybody would like board games, but when people hear board games, they think like Monopoly or Risk, and they've never seen the end of a game because it always ends with someone like flipping a table and telling you to eat a bag of dicks. But like those aren't the normal board. There are so many more board games than that right now.
It's like if somebody judged stand-up purely by going to open mics.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and they're like, wow, I don't really think comedy's good. And you're like, no.
Yeah, you just played the board game equivalent of that crazy homeless guy that's at every open mic.
Yeah, that clown.
It's kind of fun, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah, there used to be literally a clown that would come when I started in San Francisco. A guy that was like a clown would come in and was like clearly homeless, and we were like, boy, all right, well, I mean, at least it's memorable, you know.
Now, do you have to suffer through any insane open mic people?
Have I run into any?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I still do. There's insane people beyond the open mic level. Sometimes the clown advances.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Sometimes the clown is a type 5, you know.
Yeah. I think the craziest one I ever met was the Jolly Cat. If you ever met Jolly Cat.
Oh, did he dress like a cat? That's my guess.
Kind of, but more, yes, there are cat elements to it, but he also has a song where he's like, waddle like a duck, waddle like a duck. And he has
honestly, as a huge fan of Neil Hamburger Jones, I think he's from BET. He was, he goes hamburger.
Yeah,
that guy. I love that guy. And Ducky Ducky Quack Quack.
Yeah,
That was his whole Ducky Ducky Quack Quack.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that third guy belongs in the pantheon.
maybe.
Dude, the one thing that's even more frustrating though with open mics is when you see somebody that's like terrible, and then they have one joke that is so good. And you're like, no, this is wasted.
I proposed a theory on Facebook.
True.
I think if you're a shitty comic and you retire, you should have a sort of garage sales for your old jokes. There's usually like 1 or 2 out of the 1,000 shitty ones. There's 1 or 2 that really should have life after your act.
I think
know, seriously.
or someone should just be allowed to pay you for your joke and say, hey, get back here.
Yeah, here's $20. I'm going to do something with it, I promise.
Yeah, I will give this a home. Don't worry.
Hey, Grant, how are you doing health-wise? I know right before, I think you tore your ACL from soccer. Is that fixed?
No.
No. Oh, no.
Not even close. I tore my ACL on my left knee playing soccer like February 26th, which was far enough before everything shut down that I was able to get an MRI and know exactly what's wrong with me. But not far enough that I can't do anything about it. They canceled all elective surgery.
That's literally the worst. It'd be better to not know.
Yes, I know. So now I'm just like hobbling around. My roommates are making fun of me, all that sort of stuff. So it's like really, yeah. I mean, we definitely know that like this is obviously a time to express gratitude for all the healthcare workers who are doing like a ton of work, but it's also a time to acknowledge that the healthcare system is flawed and bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right. There's a big asterisk too for you. I think everybody's cheering outside their window, and you're like, I would love some surgery, please.
Yeah.
please.
You know what is after the quarantine, you're gonna have to now also lie in bed for 6 weeks after your surgery.
Legitimately, as soon as we can go outside, I will get surgery and be stuck back inside.
Oh, Lord.
Your life sucks right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring in our final panelist. She's also active. I hope she's not injured. You've seen her on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She's an amazing comic. I love her to death. Get up for Emma Willmann, everybody.
Let's go. Oh, boy. What's going on, guys? How are you?
How are you doing? Did you ever get any sports injuries?
No, I was never good enough at sports to be like that involved. I played on the soccer team, but because of my dyslexia, I was always going kind of in the wrong direction.
No.
So I ended up taking myself off the team. So I never was even around enough people enough to get injured. So no, I never got any sports injuries.
I never thought about that because they usually say, oh, if you can't read, we'll put you in athletics. That's where we stick you. And you're like, the dyslexia doesn't discriminate. It's not like, oh, I'm only going to rate you from reading.
Right. Yeah. I remember I'd always put a lot of effort in. So I'd like make like a strong bolt, but then in the wrong direction. So wherever the people were, I wasn't in that area. So I never really did well. I want to download TikTok. Now you guys inspired me. Now I want to download TikTok to find Lexapro lesbian. Yeah. And I'm gonna be Wellbutrin Willmann. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna find
are you okay with that competition, Lexapro lesbian?
Honestly, I love that. I love that for us.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, maybe there's a love connection there. I'm going to make it happen no matter what I have to do.
I think I used to take Lexapro. Is that for anxiety or is that for sleeping?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
I think I used to take that.
I don't want to get in the middle of this dirty talk, but I do want to know, well, first of all, what are you drinking in this very fancy jar?
Ginger ale. I'm drinking ginger ale, diet ginger ale.
Oh,
I'm going crazy over here. I can't believe
does that mean we're drinking the night before? Because usually ginger ale is a good hangover cure.
No, I haven't been healthy, but I haven't been drinking alcohol. I got a nutritionist, and I was going to try going on the caveman diet because I was only supposed to eat things that I could hunt or gather, but then I gathered too much Pop-Tarts, so it didn't work out.
Those cavemen who were famous for their very long lifespans.
Right. That's who you want to tailor it after. But I'm just drinking ginger ale. I thought Corona was no more. I thought the beer discontinued.
You know what? The factory has stopped making it, but there are some extra ones. So
great.
Corona Light.
So they'll be back. Corona, so that wasn't the end of it. That wasn't the end of it for Corona?
No, they're still going. They just had to temporarily pause because they make it in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah. But this does look, speaking of booze and drinking, this does look like the saddest Cinco de Mayo party I've ever been to. Are you guys doing anything to celebrate, presumably, the holiday?
I made a taco.
Oh, there we go.
Patron.
Hell yeah. Come on. I came to party.
Oh, wow. Good. I used to love Patron. I made a really uninspired, sad taco. I was like eating it as I was making it, so it never got to be a taco at one full time. I just like ate all the different parts in close proximity. So I made a Lexapro taco.
That's great. I'm going to celebrate by later blacking out and asking my boyfriend if he still loves me in the basement of our building to pretend we're in the New York City fire.
And definitely in that order. You got to black out first.
Oh, yeah, no. All in that order.
I like that. You should build a little like cardboard bar in the basement. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
You can take turns being the bartender.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great. But still make him pay no matter what.
Put a cutout of a big scary guy to check your ID.
Yeah.
It can be called the Do You Love Me bar. Do you love me? Do you love me?
Oh, by the way, Rick Jenkins said maybe that's what Trump meant by Corona will disappear by summer. That's a great joke.
Hey, Rick.
By the way, another thing that's happening, and this has been interesting to follow, but Carnival Cruises has announced that they will start cruising August 1st, leaving from two ports, Florida and Texas, which has sort of the most lax rules when it comes to reopening. And I found out recently that the lowest fare you can get is $28 a day. That's it. It's $28 a day, all inclusive. That's all of your food. That's actually cheaper than eating in New York 3 meals. Is this insane? Would you do it? And what do you think the comedian will have to contend with on that boat?
At first I was like, I don't know. What'd you say, Grant?
I said it's for sure insane. It makes me upset even hearing it.
Well, at first, I was like, when I heard about the topics, I said, hell no. But now I know the price. I'm like, okay.
I totally agree. $28 is insane. I was wondering, like, what could they what marketing scheme or what angle? But $28. I wonder how they got that price. Like, what marketing person just like kept dropping it until finally some group of idiots was like, "There we go, we'll do it." Because $28 is.
It's great. It's not even $30. You're like, that's $20 and then some. I could do that.
Right.
And then you just steal food. You come home a little bit tanned. Maybe you have Corona, but hey, I got a lot of money.
I think they're gonna lean into the whole Corona thing. They'll be like selling like Corona shots where you like shoot tequila out of an N95 mask.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It is wild to think that people are gonna get on I feel like it's gonna be like a Trump themed cruise where everybody has a MAGA hat. It's gonna be a lot of Make America cruise again.
Well, it's
maybe
like,
it was. Go, please.
I was just gonna say, like, we already see how much like assholes people are being on Florida beaches, and Carnival specifically is just like the Florida beach on the sea. Like, it's just gonna be that.
That should be their slogan, Carnival. We're the Florida of boats.
Yeah.
Have you ever told one of those captains, have you ever called their ships a boat? It's very fun to do. They get very mad about it.
Really? That's like a slur for them?
Calling a cruise ship a boat is like calling our bits, like when they call them skits.
Oh,
Right.
A boat is very, I love you. You have such funny skits.
A boat's like a big downgrade prop. They're like, I am, because probably they could have been a boat captain, but they like went that extra mile in their brains and became a cruise ship
my
captain.
whole career to get to this cruise.
Of course,
Fuck you, this is a ship, god damn it. It's a ship filled with overweight people who are probably going to die, and I worked my whole life for this.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was sponsored by, I feel like it's like a Democratic conspiracy to just try to like kill off Republicans, because it's not gonna, I mean, if anyone, it is going to be more conservative people going on those boats, and then it's not going to end well. I feel like this is like
what else are they going to open up? NRA conventions, Disney World, Disneyland.
I mean, hopefully the people that think it's all right are the people that think this is all bullshit in the first place, and we can get all of those people into one location and get another Diamond Princess situation. I shouldn't say that. That's me.
Was that the name of the boat?
There are
Diamond
still,
Princess?
there are literally, I double checked this before the show started. There are still boats in which people are stranded on it today.
We're not talking about that enough, I feel like.
Yeah, there is one singer. She lives in Illinois, and they can't get her off the boat because they have to drive you off the boat. And so she's been uploading video diaries from her, which she essentially prison, which is her little tiny cruise ship room that she's not allowed to leave.
Well, that's
awful.
TikTok famous.
I mean, that makes my like Corona situation feel like I'm like a real wimp when I'm like, oh, I can't leave my backyard. I have a yard.
It is nice. I mean, being in Los Angeles seems like a great place to be for this compared to our tiny apartments in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
is the boat moving? Is the boat
no,
moving?
it's docked as far as I know.
It's just sitting there?
Yeah. Yeah. She keeps trying to get off. They asked her, one of the weird things about it was the doctors keep trying to say if she threatens to kill herself, then they have to legally take her off the boat. So they keep trying to get her to answer that, and she refuses to do that. But they're just like, so are you feeling suicidal?
Wait, why does she refuse to say that then? If you know that it's to get you off the boat.
I think she's worried about then they would also have to legally check her in for mental health that she does not need. Yeah. It's a crazy, all this craziness is happening. And at the same time, the cruise lines are offering $28 all you can eat for a few months from now. It seems very confusing.
Well, the funny thing is that $28 is so extremely low that doesn't even seem like good press to me. Like that seems like, what are you hiding? You know?
Right. If you can afford $28 a day, then how come you're charging me $200 on normal days?
Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing as when you see really cheap lobster on a diner menu. You're like,
wait a minute. Wait, yeah, you don't want to buy. Have you guys ever seen they have like birth, like at home birth tests at the dollar store? Like some things you want to spend money on that, you know?
Yeah. You're like,
because there are certain things that you should spend more money on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like there are Groupons for surgery. You should not get them. That is the worst plan.
Yeah.
Any plastic surgeon who's advertising on Groupon is not a plastic surgeon you should be going to. This is definitely the equivalent of that for cruises. And connecting us to comedy, by the way, there is a comedy club in Oklahoma, the Bricktown Comedy Club. Yeah, there you go. Word of the night, comedy. It opened up right before the pandemic. It was terrible timing. It opened up about 5 weeks before the coronavirus thing really kicked off in the United States with everybody locking down. And May 14th, which is very close to now, Brad Williams is headlining a weekend at Bricktown Comedy Club. They were reached for comment. They said it is going to happen. They're going to put masks on the waiters and waitresses. They're going to social distance the audience, but it is opening. How do you guys feel about that?
They're going to social distance the audience?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how. I mean, if that can work out, then that. When I first saw it, I thought it was like insane and awful and crazy. But I am a little bit curious. I mean, I'm curious how it'll work out. But
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised he's willing to like put his name on it.
He actually made a great joke. He said the audience will be 35% full and 35% capacity for the audience with 50% worth of comic because he's a little person.
That's great.
And 100% coronavirus for all the people that attend.
Yeah. It's going to all go great until he decides to have a merch line and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
He
always,
just has a photo op.
it's hard.
I'd sell masks at the merch line.
I was particularly upset to see this story because I am doing a different comedy club in Oklahoma City at the end of May, and I don't want to do it. I don't.
You still doing it?
Wait a second. Spill the tea a little bit here.
They haven't canceled yet, and then we were like, well, I mean, they're clearly going to cancel, right? So I'm just waiting for them to cancel it. And now
If there's another club opening down the street a few weeks before, they might be like, you're coming.
Right.
Oh, God, I don't want to do it, but I want them to be the ones that cancel it. And now I feel like they're not going to.
Well, if they're going to pay you $28 a day, you might as well take it.
Yeah, if they pay you even $100, that's like a full cruise. That's pretty nice.
That's great.
They should start telling us our fees in Carnival Cruise days.
Right. You could live on a cruise for 7 years at $20 a day.
Oh man, with the money we pay you for this club, you can have at least 2 nights on a cruise.
You and your whole family. Are you going to do it, Grant? If they don't cancel, are you still going to do it?
Man, I'm supposed to be co-headlining it with one of my roommates, and we were just talking about it today because when you sent this story, Harrison, the first thing I did was just go to my roommate, not think about jokes, just go to my roommate and go, God damn it, are we going to have to do this date? You know? So I don't know. We're talking about it. I'm like, seriously, I'm wondering if I can just be like, I live in California. Our stay-at-home order is still in place. Like, I can't do this.
You can't leave home. Tell them you got sick.
Yeah, that's a good.
Tell them you got to ACO.
I also have asthma, so that makes me like more at like a risk, you know? So yeah.
I will tell you the travel will be probably the most pleasant you've ever had. There's probably nobody in the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. But it does make me like, I'm like, I feel like we should be waiting like, you know, a little bit longer.
It does seem a little too soon to laugh, you know.
Right.
Men and women.
Jenkins, by the way, who owns one of my favorite comedy clubs in the universe, the Comedy Studio. Big round tables, 6 feet apart. So you are basically responsible to make sure your table is safe. Yeah, big tables would be great. I'm just worried about the bathroom. I feel like everybo's socially distant until they line up for the bathroom, and now you're sitting next to a dude in a stall. It feels weird.
It's hard to avoid it at all. There's so much crunching of people in and out of the club and stuff.
And people were in Central Square, those pictures of Central Square with all those people packed in. So people might come out and do that, but that doesn't mean that they should be going out and doing that.
Right.
Yeah, and let's assume that you do go to do that show, and whenever we are going to all have our first shows back, how do you acknowledge the weirdness of the thing? Have you pictured what your first set will look and sound and feel like?
Well, I'm definitely going to announce from stage, like, look, I love that you guys are here. I'm not like shaking hands after the show. I'm not like.
That's how you're going to open?
Yeah. That's how we're close.
That's how I opened before coronavirus. Listen,
right.
Hands.
Yeah, I'm not shaking hands. No.
I thought about that. I always wanted to, like, you know, people, for some reason, there's something about my act that makes people want to hug me afterwards. And I was always very cool about it, but I think I can't be as cool about it anymore.
No, definitely not.
I mean, I think you could be cool about it again at some point.
Right.
Not yet.
Are you going to feel comfortable about, because this was something I thought of. I have a friend who's a musician, and she came to a show, and she was like, I noticed that you guys didn't clean the mics in between comics. This is last summer.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, what do you mean we didn't? She was like, I noticed no one from the club clean. And I was like, no, that's not, I've truly never heard of such a thing. Right. And then I had a cold and I was co-headlining something. And I was like, isn't it rude if after my friend goes on, I clean the mic? I don't want it to look like I think he's like dirty. Yeah. So I didn't do it. But if I was on, I would clean after, because we were kept swapping back. So I would do mine. And then I would spritz it with sanitizer and people would be like, ha, ha, ha. Like, that's stupid of you. But this is like a year ago.
Right.
So now, are you guys gonna feel comfortable? Like, are you gonna clean the mic or bring like a little mic condom or something?
Well, you know what? I never really thought about mic stuff until I followed a comic at a New York club. I'll leave the comic and the club anonymous. But it was a female comic who wears bright red lipstick.
I know exactly. It was me. No, I'm just kidding. I know you're not. I know.
And I got off stage and I had a little lipstick on me, and I realized what the contact from lipstick to mic back to my lips, and I was like, "Holy shit!" That's the least of my worries about what's being transferred from mic to mic.
Yeah.
And I do think, you know what? If a comedy club said I could bring my own mic, and that's part of like what comics bring with them is their own microphone, I would not necessarily be that upset.
I also think, like, if you're honest about it, if you're just like, you know, if you have the host say like, hey, I'm going to clean the mic in between comedians because we all know what the world is like today. I don't think there's that many people that are going to be like, these fucking liberal assholes.
Right.
As he
like, that's why they're heckling you.
Yeah.
One guy just bring your own wireless mic and then give the receiver to the sound guy.
Great idea, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, based on his profile picture, is the coronavirus.
Wow.
Right. What is that? Is that a firework?
I think
that might be fireworks.
Fireworks.
You know you've been quarantined too long where anything that's spiky and ball like
Corona. Jim Corona. That's a great idea, Jim.
That's a fantastic idea.
You have to
That'd be
trust
great
the
when
sound
if I
guy.
have to bring a wireless mic and receiver, which I do have one for my magic show. I have all sorts of tech stuff. But that'll be great when you have to require a comic to bring tech that costs more money than they're being paid for the gig.
well, we all got podcast equipment gathering dust in our closets, so
I once had to do a show from one of those Elvis microphones. Remember those old school? It was screwed into the stand, and they literally didn't have a replacement. And I do the whole show like Elvis. It was weird.
Those are so awkward.
That sounds kind
let's
of
ask
fun.
our audience, Ben. Would you, and also Ramsey, would you go to a comedy show, and what would have to be in place for you to go back to the comedy clubs?
I think when you pay for, as long as I'm in the back, like when you pay for the first row, like you know you're getting spat on, like that's like part of the gift. You know, you're paying for spit and and relax.
Now the VIP seats are going to be like sitting in the back. You have to
Everyone's
pay
in the
extra.
back.
Every show is like fucking Gallagher. They give you one of those just great ponchos and a mask.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Ramsey, what will it take to get you into a comedy club?
Maybe like a hamster bubble, or like I could hang from the rafters so that I'm not near people. Something of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like a swing set, so you could just like swing away. Like if people are, you can just be like swing away from it.
Or rolly chairs.
Right.
What about
roll
cubicle?
chair.
Okay, every comedian, every audience member was in their own cubicle.
Yes.
I do think that retail requests are getting more and more, ridiculous. They're going to be like, you have to, in order to go into our store, you have to like wrap entirely in bubble wrap. It's like, I don't want to go into your store that much.
Yeah.
I don't know what store that is, but that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, audience members. So there we go. There are people who will go as long as we provide acrobatic equipment.
So
I think there's other people that'll go too, but the ones to be worried about is the people that don't care about what it takes.
I feel like there's
What
going
I
to be
mean.
more people who don't care than more people who do care. Especially we're in New York City, like the clubs, we're going to get still people coming in like, I don't give a shit. I just want to laugh.
Yeah, fuck Corona. I'm not gay.
We got a comment, by the way, from Evan that said microphone Zamboni, which I really do like the idea of how we in hockey, we're okay with pausing the game to clean up the ice.
Mhm.
Maybe we just have a little tiny mic Zamboni and clean it
Yeah,
off
that'd be
between the comic.
Yeah.
In the
Okay,
UK, they
have
do
a
an
burlesque
intermission.
performer.
The UK does an intermission where it's like for like half hour, and then that's when everyone gets up and goes and gets their drinks. And I remember when they did that, I was like, oh, they'd never do that in the States. People would leave.
Yeah.
But maybe get more drinks, clean the mic off. Maybe that's the answer.
Talk
It
about
also just shows how desperate American comedians are. I remember having the same thought, and we're like, we can't risk a single person leaving this building. Lock the fucking doors. Don't give them their bill till the end, and they need a ticket to get out.
Yeah, they do the same thing in Australia, man. And it like and this like the second most experienced comedian is the host, and you're like, God, that makes so much sense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, Maddy, you brag about an international place you performed at.
Yeah, exactly. We're just trying to humble brag, all of us.
Oh, hey, I've performed in Canada. Okay.
Hey,
That's
That's a
great.
different country.
It is a different country.
that is. That's a good one. I
Yeah.
bet you that'll be weird if they open before we do. There's like a weird world where a bunch of comics like go to Toronto for a few months to work on their shit.
Yes.
I thought about that.
Yeah. It wouldn't be bad. They laugh a lot because they have free healthcare. They're like, they laugh at everything.
It'll be a bitch if you pop up and they're like, you need to quarantine for 2 weeks. You're coming from New York or LA. And then by the time you're done quarantining, everything's open in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan
is
Howard,
opening
posted up a Canadian flag. He might be Canadian. Speaking of all these things and having retail stores, Ben mentioned the bubble wrap. There was a really fun video from Kentucky of a lady who I guess thought she was following the wearing a mask procedure. But let's take a look at this video.
Hello. How you doing?
Pretty good. I need 10 on pump one, please.
Where'd you get that mask from?
Well, since we have to wear them and it makes it harder to breathe, it just makes it a lot easier to breathe.
Cutting it? Yeah, I'll do that too. Thanks for the advice. Appreciate you.
Yeah, she cut a hole in her mask because it was easier to breathe that way.
I love it.
It's the equivalent of cutting the top of a condom off because it makes it feel better.
Yeah, it does sound like an argument for not wearing condoms too.
It looks like those the assless chaps. You know what I mean? Like the pants that then have been cut out and you can see the butt. That was the first thing I saw when I saw her.
I would almost rather see her with no mask on than what I just saw.
Yeah, it looked like she kind of had a portable glory hole. It's kind of what that looked like.
It was disturbing.
Did you guys see the picture of Ben Affleck smoking? He had a mask on and then he was smoking a cigarette. Yeah, it's a weird.
Oh no, keep going. Sorry about that.
It's a weird mix of trying to be healthy, but then also just like fuck up your life too. So I think people are struggling. I mean, maybe they're just wearing the mask because obviously they think they should. Clearly, he doesn't really care about what he's doing.
It's the mask equivalent of diet soda, where you're like, no, it is healthy. You're like, it's soda.
That felt very personal, Harrison.
Yeah. Sorry, as you take a sip from your diet soda.
Harrison, I literally wrote down the same joke about cutting off the tip of a condom because it feels better. So clearly, we're thinking too much along the same lines and not having enough sex during this quarantine.
Speak for yourself. I'm having sex probably as much as you are, but I
am not.
Are you quarantined with a lady? Maddy is quarantined with her boyfriend.
Yep.
I'm with my girlfriend. Emma and Grant, are you guys single and ready to mingle in your quarantine?
We're together.
Well, this is true, not like a bit here, that my girlfriend broke up with me 2 weeks ago. Today is the 2-week anniversary.
Oh, that means she broke up with you during quarantine?
During quarantine, yep.
So, were you guys quarantined together?
We were quarantining together for like the first 3 weeks. And then I came home, and then she has a 90-year-old grandma in Texas. And so she was the best person in her family to go take care of her grandma. So she went to Texas and then broke up with me from Texas on FaceTime.
Oh, man. Yeah. Ben was enjoying that a little bit too much, Ben.
Oh, it was a little too much for me to handle. I felt bad. I didn't know if I should laugh.
Oh, you're allowed to laugh.
We're comedians. That's all we need.
I legitimately knew she was going to break up with me because the day before she broke up with me, I texted her, "I miss you." And her response literally was, "I know."
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then when
How long were you dating before this? Was this like a very long term?
The last day I saw her before she went to Texas was our 1-year anniversary.
Oh
wow! I know, it's just like so many hits. Like,
I think it was being quarantined together that did it, because I'm with my girlfriend. We're in Louisiana, but being quarantined definitely is like tough on the relationship.
I definitely feel like for the first half of us being quarantined together, it was great, and then the second half, it was like, oh, she feels over me being here. Also, because I have a torn ACL, I couldn't even go for walks or anything like that. We legitimately couldn't leave the apartment at all.
You could have rolled you around.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't have a wheelchair or anything like that.
A skateboard.
When she FaceTimed me, I have like a bunch of different pairs of glasses. Have you ever had that like intuition where I was like, oh, she's gonna break up with me right now? And I went and put on her favorite pair of glasses.
Oh, you loved her.
Like, well, at least I'm gonna look good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? She doesn't know that you're gonna be a big headliner at the end of May.
Yeah.
So
you're a free ticket to your show in Oklahoma.
Yeah, seriously.
Offer to fly her out.
I will say, there is like there is a part of me though that like thinks that this is the best time to get broken up with, because I'm not doing like the thing of like, oh, what's she out doing right now, right? I know exactly what she's doing. Right. We're all doing the same thing.
True.
She's doing puzzles with her grandmother and staying inside.
Right.
Like,
have you thought of trying to win her back by paying for like a year's worth of cruising?
No.
Very affordable.
It's only $200.
Yeah, seriously, a year's worth.
Our final topic is, did you guys get to see any of Donald Trump's very weird interview in front of the Lincoln Memorial?
A little bit. Yeah, he's losing it. Well, what am I saying? He's losing it?
I mean,
this guy.
I do think it was like a bold move, right? Because like Lincoln is arguably our greatest president ever, and Trump is so bad that he's like making Joe Biden look pretty all right.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird to hear him say that he's had it worse than Lincoln when Lincoln was shot in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Right.
And
he didn't say like I relate to Lincoln or anything like anything. He's had it. He went right in for saying I've got it worse. I'm coming out more on top. I was surprised. He still surprises me. I don't know why. I'm not expecting. I don't know what the surprise is, but he'll still continuously. I'll be like, wow, I can't believe he said that. But eventually, I got to get over that. I should believe it.
Yeah, he also said it was a great set. He complimented the set he was on, which makes me think he thinks he's on television 100% of the time. That's not a set.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I've watched like everything on Netflix now, but I can't wait to see him and Joe Biden debate. I know it's not for entertainment purposes, but woo!
Yeah.
I know. I think I'm numb to all the TV and movies at this point, and now it's like, let's bring it back and let's watch the old men fight.
Have you guys seen?
I really want there to be an audience, and I know there probably won't be, but my God.
We should
make it better though. No audience, just awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump preaching to no one. It's probably the best version of Donald Trump, where he's quoting all of his catchphrases and getting no response.
And you're at home like, is he good?
He's like a terrible 80s sitcom where every time he hits a punchline, he looks at the camera like, huh? Right?
And Joe Biden gets so confused, he like laughs at it and like, no, I'm not supposed to.
Joe, that was the one thing you had one job, which was don't encourage him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little nervous for Biden, not gonna lie. I mean, all he has to do is just swoop through and win, but it's he's kind of losing it.
Yeah, well, let's bring on our audience for our final segment, the audience Q&A, where each audience member gets to ask us one question, any question they want. It could be about what we've talked about. It could not be. Let's start with Ben. Ben, do you have any questions for the panel?
Well, I was just thinking, $28, that doesn't, for a cruise each day, that doesn't account for how long you're going to be on that cruise, right? If you're stranded there, maybe that's their business plan. They just keep racking up the $28, right? So my question was, if you could have one person with you stranded for 5 weeks on a cruise, who would it be?
Ooh. That is a very good question. I feel like it might be weird because I co-hosted shows with him, but Neil deGrasse Tyson could at least teach me a lot.
Yeah. He's got a soothing voice too.
And he's very soothing. He's very relaxing. He's a science guy. That would be pretty nice.
I don't mean to be like sentimental, but my honest answer is my sister. My
older sister. Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought you were going to say your ex-girlfriend.
No.
I just realized, by the way, I mean my girlfriend, for sure, definitely the girlfriend that I've been with. That's my first choice. Then Neil deGrasse Tyson. Definitely that order. I didn't fuck that up.
Yeah, but like my older sister, she likes board games. She's a good conversationalist. She likes adventure. We can have fun,
Maddy, does Andrew go with you or is it somebody else?
I would go the Harrison route and say he's the obvious number one, but I'd say maybe number two, Dr. Fauci. He seems like a fun, healthy thing,
How dare you take him away from us at the time we need him the most, Maddy?
I feel like since Trump's sort of edging him out a little bit, I can save him, bring him on the cruise. Dr. Fauci and I can become TikTok famous. So,
shut it down. Getting Dr. Fauci to do a little dance or something, that'd be killing. Yeah.
I also hope for Christmas there's no elves on the shelves. They're just little Dr. Anthony Fauci's with a hat.
Oh, he's so adorable.
Emma, who are you bringing?
That's a tough one. I guess I would say I want to think maybe Kris Jenner. Not because I like her, but I feel like she like would just like she'd like figure out like what we need to do, how we need to do it. She'd like orchestrate a whole like production studio and then get me on the Kardashians. I wouldn't enjoy it.
Right.
I think it could be a good bet.
Yeah, if she can make the Kardashians famous, she can make a cruise enjoyable. That seems your task.
That's a good one, yeah.
Ben, thank you so much. And speaking of TikTok, let's bring in see everybody. And how do you spell Lexapro, by the way? Is it just like the drug?
Yeah, it's just like the SSRI.
All right, I'll put that up on the screen so everybody can follow you. Lexapro Lesbian on TikTok. There we go. Lexapro.
Yes.
Perfect. What is your question?
Okay, well, Ben stole my question. And I've been trying to like think of one, but I've been having trouble. So I think I'm just gonna flip it on its head. So besides Trump, because like he's too obvious of an answer, who is like the last person you would want to be quarantined with?
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. Anybody on too much cocaine would be difficult in a tight environment. I don't need to hear your 40-minute story.
I know who it is. It's an Uber driver that's doing open mics.
Oh. How about an Uber driver that doesn't respect the nap? The worst of the Uber drivers.
But they have
sleeping. You have a mirror. Stop asking me questions.
Yeah.
I had this ex that she was like really, this is broad strokes, like really super, super, super Italian and super, super, super Jewish. Two things I love and respect and have dated many people of both of those things since then. But so I'm drawing super broad strokes. That's how she would describe herself. So, and maybe what I'm about to say had nothing to do with either of those things. I'm going to actually say, I'm sure they didn't. But she was always yelling. Everything started here. Like I remember everything was yelling. And I remember asking one time, I just was like, why are you yelling at me? And she was like, because I'm Italian and Jewish and I agree with you. And it was just constant like, I'm super neurotic, but it was like neurotic with the yelling, just like, that would be I remember just being like, just stop, just be quiet. So if I had to have that on a boat, just like, that's the last person I would be on. Shout outs to her.
I'm Maddy. Who's the last person you'd like to be with on this cruise?
I don't know if I have a person as much as an entity. I think I would want to go on cruise and maybe leave Zoom behind.
Ooh.
I think I'm over Zoom.
You're over the Zoom?
Yeah, I think I've been doing a lot of Zooming. StreamYard's great. We're sponsored by them, but
you don't sponsor us yet, but we'd like to be. We're looking for sponsors, Corona and or StreamYard.
I think I have Zoom fatigue. So if I go on a cruise, I want to be full in buffet, getting coronavirus, leaving out the family group chat.
I'd love to go to a buffet.
Oh, it sounds great right now.
Yeah, sounds great.
And
that's so I don't know how I feel about buffets now, because is the sneeze guard really corona proof?
You'd have to be full self-destructive mode. I mean, if you're gonna go do that, like you'd have to be definitely.
I'm not wearing a mask. I would go full.
Yeah,
like, I would sneeze on people on purpose. Just do it. You know,
you cross that line.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm just hungry, but that sounds good.
I'm hungry too.
That's a good note to end on. Emma, Maddy, and Grant, thank you so much for coming on.
Bye, Rick Jenkins.
Thank you.
Follow Maddy, Maddy Smith on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow Grant at GrantLine1, number 1. And Emma Willmann is on Instagram, just Emma Willmann, just the name. But on Twitter, it's I am Emma Willmann. So make sure you have both. Thank you guys so much for joining. Stay safe and stay well. And hopefully we'll see you guys again soon.
Thank
you, everybody. Bye. That's Maddy, Emma, and Grant. And there's an audience member just popped in. But we're going to bring up our musical co-host, Sarah Dooley. Do you have anything that can play us out?
Yeah, I sure do. In fact, this song is called The 7 p.m. Clapping Thing Ruined My Orgasm Yesterday.
Perfect. Take it away.
I lost track of time. My window was wide. I was on the verge when suddenly I heard the whole city clapping for essential workers in NYC. And I couldn't figure out how to work it into my fantasy. I didn't go to UCB, RIP. I couldn't justify it. I guess I'll have to try it again tomorrow. This time at 5:59. Doobie doobie doo.
That's amazing. I was saying that, you know, with the people cheering at 7, if you time it right, if you start having sex, they can applaud you coming.
Yeah,
And
I've
for
always
me, you
wanted to
start
start
at
in that.
6:58.
Oh, smart. Yeah. Good for you, Harrison.
You do it twice.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining me. You can follow her at Unruly as Julie. Get our album Stupid Things on Spotify. Just search for it. It's awesome. I have a copy of it. It's amazing. You got to download it. Sarah, thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you very
Thank
soon.
you. Yes, please.
Mwah. Sarah Dooley, everybody. And a big thank you to our audience. I think we lost Ramsey, aka Lexapro Lesbian on TikTok, but we still have Ben. Thank you, Ben, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank your mom as well for the lovely office.
Of course.
And I hope you guys achieve all the Jewy climate change things you need.
I do too. You know, I also created a TikTok today, coincidentally, but I do not have 66,000 followers. But I also just, you know, I'm the first follow is gonna be Lexapro Lesbian. So
well, plug it, Ben. What is the name of your TikTok?
That's my name, Ben Rosen, BenRosenn. Yep, go ahead and follow.
There we go. If you just search for Jew or use the Star of David, it will come up immediately. Give it up for Ben, everybody. Ben Rosen. There we go. And that has been our show. A huge thanks to Evan and Brendan and everybody in the National Lampoon team who helps make this happen. And a thank you to you guys for watching this. Jim, Dane, Linda, so many people have been tuning in. Jen, William, Ken, Wayne, Omar. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys would like to donate, covid.cm, not .com, .cm, National Lampoon, there's a slash in between. Make sure you check that out. Has a lot of info about a fantastic foundation and charity that does a lot to get PPE into the hands of healthcare workers who need it, as well as helping the underserved, the homeless, and a lot of really great people. So make sure you take care of that. And I'm at Harrison Comedy on Instagram and on Twitter. There you go. We are here every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. It is a little bit earlier than the 9 p.m. when we started, so make sure you change your calendar accordingly. It is 8 p.m. Every Tuesdays and Fridays. This is National Lampoon Live with Harrison Greenbaum. I am Harrison Greenbaum, and we'll see you on Friday. Thank you so much, everybody. National Lampoon Live, singing a song with Harrison Greenbaum.